Okay. Um, it's been a bit. I know it's kind of just like, really? That's all you're gonna say? It's been over a year, and you come back with it's been a bit. Um, yeah. I guess a few things have happened here and there. For one, I uh, graduated high school. That's one cool thing, I guess. That that happened after the last video, because I was in my senior year. Um, I think third semester, I want to say. I'm not sure on that. But I the reason I stopped uploading is I just really wasn't feeling up to it. Uh, at least for me, it takes a very specific, like, want to record and upload a video. And I've been feeling that a bit more lately, which is why I'm making this now. Um, I want to get back into it. I do. Because part of me feels bad that I just gave up on it, and the other part of me understands why I did. But aside from that, it's kind of just like I can't compare it to anything. Sorry. Um. Yeah, I graduated high school. Late 2021 or early 2021 rather. Um, and then I started college. Uh, so that was an adventure because I never really had to try much in high school, and I'm not trying to like brag about that. I'm just in general saying that like for me, I just kind of was able to do the work in class, wasn't used to doing homework and such, and was used to just breezing on by it. College, on the other hand, hit me like a ton of bricks in that regard. Um, it just it really didn't go well. So, midway through second semester, I just said, you know what? Yeah, we're calling it here. Because I was getting far too stressed out at my own unwillingness to do things, basically, and I just quit. So I've been spending a few months kind of just chilling out. Um, Part of me wants to get a job. Like, I feel bad because I currently don't have one and aren't really doing anything currently. Not the right wording, but whatever. But at the same time, there's not. Ah, that's how I didn't get to here. I don't feel like there's much I can do because uh, if I do end up getting a job, it's just like, okay, cool. Now I have to drive to it, and who's to say that the money from it would even help out much? So, I don't know. There's that. I have to look into it more, but yeah, I might start streaming more and uploading more, hopefully. Uh, Not a guarantee though, because that's kind of just how I work currently. Though I would like to get into this again, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity I kind of just brushed by. And not even necessarily just to like, oh, you know, you can get millions of some subscribers, get a fake gold play button thing, and maybe even a fake diamond one. Like, no. Are those cool objectives? Sure. Would I love to get it? Absolutely. Do I actually expect that to happen? Not in the slightest. In all honesty, I expect at best, like, maybe a small community that likes what I managed to put out. And what I managed to put out, I'm hoping, is not just going to be unedited gameplay footage. I want to learn how to get into editing. Um, so I'm going to look into that as well. But yeah, I'd also like to kind of start playing some games that, like, you know, might attract some more people here and there. Because I think the most people I ever got were, as per what I think is fairly common on YouTube, uh, I think my most popular videos were the first, uh, of the, actually no, I don't think the first of the, what is the name of the game? It's the one with the, like, Steam Tower. Steampunk Tower 2? Is that really all it's called? I think so, but anyway. I think the start of that one got a few views, and then the start of, Frostborn Wrath as well, I think got some. But, honestly, another part of the reason I stopped is because, I wanted to keep running things like series, because I didn't want to just abandon the game midway through, because maybe people were liking it. I really didn't like Frostborn Wrath. Like, nothing against Gemcraft, nothing against the game. It's really not my thing. It's interesting, yeah, and kind of cool, but I just really wasn't finding it much fun. Uh, so there's that. I've also kind of fallen out of Ark recently, because Genesis 2 was fun, but the DLC content, I never really, or not, like, DLC map content. Bigger DLCs, I love those, but the DLC map content, was, like, I would play them here and there, but they weren't really my favorite of the content, things. And I've only slightly played a bit of Sojourner modded, and haven't gone very far, and just don't really want to play it all too much. If I could get, like, a cool mod, or that wouldn't impact gameplay too much, or just in general, kind of Steam to keep me going from chat or whatever, or something, I don't know, maybe. So that's another one of those things, just maybe. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Arc 2, when that comes out, almost definitely going to play that. Because that seems really interesting. I'd really like to try that out when it releases in sometime. PowerWashing 1.0 came out recently, and I know I never released anything on PowerWashing, because I only learned of it after I stopped uploading. And honestly, it's not really a content-esque game. Much like, Markiplier described in, I think, his most recent, I'm not sure on that, power washing thing. It's more of a podcast-esque game. You have it on in the background, and you just talk about things. It's like, what are you gonna say? Oh, cool, I'm really close to finishing this wheel, or whatever, close to finishing up this part on the thing. No, like, you can say that, sure. That's not engaging. Like, if you watch it, sure, whatever. Cool, you got some possibly satisfying video in the background to watch. If you're just listening to it, that's also fine. You basically just have a podcast. That's, like, so, that's kind of how I think about this. I also kind of booted it up because I wanted to make a video like this, and with 1.0 there's achievements, so kind of working towards those as well. Where was I, though? Streaming, I would like to get into again. I know I said that already, but I really want to try and get into it more, because it was actually rather fun when people showed up. And I know that's not trying to, like, dig at anyone or whatever, and just legitimately sometimes, you know, content's not really all that interesting. Like, I think my last stream was Below Zero, and it was, like, I think a month or something after Below Zero finally released. And it's like, cool, you're streaming Below Zero, but if anyone actually wanted to, like, watch it for the first time, they wouldn't be watching a month late, And if they didn't want to watch it for the first time, then they'd probably want someone more experienced. Not necessarily on either of those things. It's just, there's not a huge audience for watching it over again. And I get that. I don't like to read books over again, and I barely play games over again unless I consider them really good. Subnautica is actually one of those things. It is one of the rare, base Subnautica, not Below Zero. Nothing against Below Zero, it's just base Subnautica. Very not good. That stumble there was me trying to say nice and good at the same time, not good. Wanted to clarify that. I did a few hardcore runs of it in my free time. One ended with the sea dragon slapping the Cyclops into me. That one was fun. And upsetting. But, yeah. I have the same PC setup as last time, and it's holding out pretty well. I wouldn't say it's a bad setup, I'm just, it might be starting to be a bit slower than some of the newer builds people have created. Not sure on that, but if anything, PC-wise, doesn't go great, it's probably because of that. It is a few years old at this point. And PC-wise, that's not the best. Well, I guess, I doubt this video will, really go anywhere, but thanks for, I don't want to say thanks for watching. We probably got a bit still left, even if it's gonna be padding. So I'm gonna be real. If you've watched up to this point, thank you. If you watch further, thank you more. But I'm already noticing it's a 12-minute recording. Jeez. All right. Yeah. Even if you've made it up to this point, thanks. Feel free to leave whatever kind of interaction you would like, or none at all. Even if it's dislikes, I'm perfectly fine with that. YouTube apparently isn't, and I know that joke's kind of just a big thing, but I figured it'd be slightly funny. I didn't really get to make it when I had a live channel, and that changed kind of more recently than a year and a half ago happened, so yeah. So I probably should start making some new varied content, because gaming, it's interesting, sure, but the only real gaming content that actually still even holds up is either people that already have big fan bases or absolute chaos. And mine was neither of those. And I think I started to realize that, but I might start trying to do more chaos things, or just, make content that's more enjoyable or more interesting in general, because I think that's part of it, is that, not only was I playing, obscure games that weren't really well known, but I was also, playing them really boring and normally. I know that's, playing them normally is how they're intended to be played and all, but sometimes that's not really all that enjoyable. Playing, let's see, for instance, PowerWasher normally. Is it interesting? No, not really. You can do some kind of cool things, like absolutely scaling, things in ways that should not be done. That's kind of funny. Hard to make an entire video out of that, unless, do a whole bunch of editing for it, which I need to learn how to do. And I know I looped back to that. My bad. But yeah, I might, if my friend's up to it, I might start doing, some, collaboration-esque content with him. Because I really enjoy playing games with him. That's another thing that kind of stopped me from uploading for a bit is in those few months, I was playing games with one of my old friends quite a bit, and while that's fun, and I do have a like recording that once I start editing, I'm gonna start trying to make into a series. It's of modded Terraria with for the worthy master mode with I think stars above and some other quality of life. I don't think there's any other big mods. And if you don't know Terraria, you probably don't like Terraria for one. Like you might not know what that means. Modded is entirely another thing. So yeah. In summary, For the Worthy is a seed that was released on 1.4 launch that basically makes everything more difficult. From the bosses, to the world generation, to basic enemies, to the tiles themselves. Just about every single behavior in the game is changed to make it more difficult. Master mode is basically just more difficulty by upping health and damage of the enemies. Master mode doesn't actually add, like, any content. Well, it adds a bit of content, but it's a jump between Master mode content and Expert mode content, in my opinion. So when you combine the two, you already get a difficult experience. But we're trying to do a lore-based thing with stars above and For the Worthy, so we have I have one like multiple hour long recording of that currently, so that can 100% make many episodes. I just need to learn how to edit it and what kind of edits I want to do to it. Like, do I want to just have it whenever we're talking? Because if so, that's still going to be a lot of content. Or do I want to have it like key points, in which so that could cut down a lot of it to a lot less content. And I know it's not the best wording, but like, could cut, say, 3 hours or so down to just 20, 30-minute video tops. So it just depends. I have to figure out what I want the video editing to look like what kind of presentation I'm going for, what kind of what I would think would be important, such things like that. I need to learn those things to be able to produce that. And I do want to. That's another thing, is I've had a lot of drive recently to start doing things on here again, and on Twitch, but, you know. But it's just like, there's a difference between drive to do it in general and drive to start it. Because, like, sure, I'm driven to go, like, you know, biking around or exercising more, but I'm not driven to start those things very much. So that's one thing that can be rather limiting at times. What is still... Oh, wow, okay. No. What else? Oh yeah. I might... I'm not sure, but I might start doing, like, videos when games I like update. I know that sounds very simple, but... and kind of undoable, considering some of the games that I've played thus far. But those weren't really games that I liked. I chose the games that I uploaded because they were fresh experiences. Because I could, like, record my, like, fresh reaction to then show. And that's all fine, but it doesn't necessarily... Those games, like, I haven't played them for just Steampunk Tower 2 is just, I found it after looking for, I think, basics, like, because I played basic Steampunk Tower, again, fairly recently. Uh, at, I say fairly recently, before I played 2, because, like, Flash games were going down at the time. And now that ship has long since sailed, but that was one that I remember very fondly. And I realized that they had a Steam release, because I think I just, like, I might have looked it up. Yeah, I think I looked it up on Steam, like, oh, well, since these games are dying, is there a Steam version? And I saw the second one, and I had to play it. Gemborn was one I had seen through another content creator, I think, Aliens Rock, I want to say. I'm not sure if he's even still goes by that tag. I haven't watched his content in a bit. But it looked interesting. I tried it, not my thing. That's fine. Like, you can enjoy watching a game and not enjoy playing it. And I think that's another thing, is that, like, even if it makes good video content, I feel like in order for me to want to play it to make the content, I have to also enjoy it. So I have to strike a kind of difficult balance between those two things. Like, do I play a game that's amazing for video content? Can't exactly think of one right now. But, well, okay, maybe like a PvP game. Because I'm not really a PvP person. It actually, like, I get annoyed with myself, sometimes at the other people, but mainly with myself, and it's just not a fun time. But that can make very good video content. Or do I play something that I like that doesn't make all that good video content? For example, Power Washing Simulator here. Video content-wise, not that great. I honestly would say this is not good video content. It really just depends on... It's like I said, it's more of a podcast thing. I said earlier, rather. So that's kind of its own struggle. Like, do I play a game that I really love, but just can't think of a way to make content for? Or do I play a game that I just really don't like, but makes a lot of content? So I think that's another thing, is I have to figure out what I want to do with this channel. Do I want it to be a channel that, like, is forged out of the necessity to get views, or do I want it to be a channel that is made because I like to make videos, because I like to present projects and present how I play games, or, like, the games I like? I'm honestly not sure at the moment. Probably a bit of both, because I don't want to be that channel that has, like, literally no views, but I also don't want to be stuck playing games I don't like to constantly go and get views. Consistency-wise, I, like, time in between, I'm still not sure. I was doing a weekly schedule, and I might stick to that for a bit. But if I can manage to, like, start having a huge backlog for a weekly schedule, I might switch to twice a week, maybe daily, but definitely not above daily. I feel like the second I go above that, it's gonna be too much pressure if I lose interest for a bit. Even, like, twice a week, I might be able to withstand that. I would have to have a huge backlog, but if I have, like, large recording sessions that I can edit into a bunch of content, weekly might be doable. Daily just doesn't feel achievable for me at the time, or right now, but maybe it will be in the future. Maybe I'll have, like, editing down to a science, and I'll have, like, how long I should play a game to make a good video down pretty well. It really just depends. And I think that, like, part of the reason I want to return to this is because I left it so open-ended. I just left it. There wasn't anything, like, there wasn't a goodbye, there wasn't a, like, see you later. There was just radio silence. Not a single thing. Like, you know, anything could have happened. I could have IRL died. I could have just, like, moved on with my life. You know, there was no... I know there wasn't really anyone that watched me, but even if there if there was, there was no closure. There was no, like, this is what happened kind of thing. And I guess that's kind of what this video is. If I do upload more, then this is kind of my springboard, like, hi, this is what happened. This is where I am now. Yeah, here's an explanation for you. It's been a year, and I'm sorry, but here's my explanation. If I don't, then just here's my explanation. Here's why I stopped. There you are. Because I think part of the reason that I started this is because I realized that I could. Many years back at this point, I got a microphone stand and a microphone that the one I'm using currently. Also, I'm sorry if my audio setup's pretty bad. I haven't really thought about that. I edited a bit. Edited it a bit, for the project thing I was talking about. But I don't know how that works for solo content kind of thing. But I got a microphone a while back that had a, like, mic stand and had a, like, I think it's the pop filter, the, like, foamy thing that covers them. I'm not sure. But it had, like, a full surrounding thing of that. It looked like one of those studio microphones kind of thing. Just not nearly as professional, but, you know, that kind of size and wire connecting to it and all that. And I kind of just didn't do anything with it for a while. Then, after a bit, I realized I can make content. So I downloaded OBS, and I started. Like I said, I still don't know how to edit, so my content's pretty bad. But I started what had been my dream for basically untold years. Well, not untold. That's dramatic. Sorry. But many years, because I had started watching, like, YouTube actually, not even almost daily, just daily, flat out, around 5th grade at least. And it always kind of just, like, it looked so fun to play games day in, day out, and make money for it. Like, it just... Like, who could say no to doing something you love for money? It just didn't sound like there was a downside at all. So, eventually I tried it. And I realized that there kinda is a downside. Because, at least in my opinion, there's a big difference between recording content or streaming it and just playing the game. Because a whole lot of games are made to be played. Not a whole lot of games are made to be recorded and to be watched. Like, take for instance, Subnautica. I don't know if this one's really gonna work in it as an analogy, but we're gonna try one. Subnautica's very much so an experience. You're thrown into an escape pod, slamming the button down, and your ship gets blasted out of the sky above you. You're in panic from the moment that sets in. You're greeted to a fire, you have to put it out, and then you're on an alien world. There is no guidance, and the best you get is, hey, you should probably repair this, because your life pod got busted up in the crash. That's it. From there, it's all up to the player to explore and do whatever they want with the game. The only piece of guidance that you get is... Okay, the only pieces, because there's actually a few, is life pod signatures that tell you where the other crashed life pods are. The aurora exploding, which isn't necessarily just a guider, but just like an event that happens. And sunbeam, which sends you to an island in hopes of rescue, and your rescue gets shot out of the sky. So that's basically all Subnautica does. And making videos for it, especially in the way I was, just wouldn't work. Because Subnautica-wise, like, with Subnautica, there's a bit of content here and there, like video content. If you're doing big events, then that's not most of the gameplay. Most of the gameplay is getting parts so you can, like, research things that can go deeper and craft things that can go deeper and get the, well, spoilers for a game that's kind of old at this point. Get the parts for the cure, or get the parts for the hatching enzymes for the cure. But like that doesn't really make hold a very good content for just base Subnautica. And I think I even did try streaming hardcore Subnautica, and then drowned, and changed it to below zero. I think I remember that quite well, actually. But like, yeah, like I'm saying, there's some games that translate themselves very well to just being played, because that's what they're made for. And there's others that translate well to being played and being watched. And some games work very hard on the being watched aspect, but not necessarily their being played aspect. That's not nearly as common, but it does happen. Majority of games, I would say, are made to be played, not to be watched. More recently, there's been like an emphasis on, hey, we can still make quite a good game off of it being watched alone. It's not the best way to do it, in my opinion, but it works. So, finding games that I enjoy that also make good watching content, I'd say that'd be more difficult than just finding games that I want to play. But I'm gonna work on for editing, like learning to edit, and learning what games are good to like record for. And I know that at this point, like with how small my channel is currently, that could be just about any game. Like I could probably make a community around like what's a game that's not very I could probably make a community around like Sims 1 or whatever. I've never even played Sims 1, but like this not server, sorry. This channel's so small and so like unorganized that it probably could be anything. Because like I wouldn't say Markiplier's known for, you know, a whole bunch of... Well, he's known for, like, gaming videos, but he's also done so much more than that. Like, he's done the heist project in space with Markiplier, Who Killed Markiplier. All those, like, from the outside, they sound like, yeah, he's did content about himself, like, but they're a lot more than that, in my opinion. They're kind of an experience, and I think part of the reason I want to come back again is because I realized that it's not just, like, success or failure. That's not exactly the best way to look at it. like, sure, that is a way to look at it, and it won't, like, disadvantage you to look at it like, wow, my channel's not getting views, I'm failing. It won't disadvantage you to look at it like that. But I wouldn't say it would advantage you either, because, like, yes, that could be a sign that, like, you need to change up your content and you need to change up what you're do. And that's not, like, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that probably is mostly correct even. But, like, changing entirely what you do, um, it can be difficult. And I think what I was doing wasn't working because I just kind of was playing games. There wasn't any sorry, any editing. There wasn't really any pizzazz to it or anything special. I was just playing games. There's not really much different from just any other person playing games. Like, cool, you can watch some person that has, like, nothing special about them play some game that you've possibly heard of, possibly you haven't. But what's so, like, unique about that in comparison to watching someone that has, like, multi-million subscribers that you like watching a whole bunch, and they've made content for quite a while. In all reality, the smaller channel is, like, might not have that good of content in comparison. I'm not trying to diss small channels, I'm just saying that my content was nowhere near on par with, say, like, Markiplier or any other of those bigger channels. I know I just keep saying his channel's name, and this isn't an endorsement for him at all, I'm just... He's a YouTuber I really like to watch, and I think that's another thing, is I just, like... Part of the reason I got into this is because I watched content for so long, like... Part of it, like, it was partially my childhood between, like, with that and Minecraft, it just kinda, it definitely shaped who I was as a person. So, like, when I tried to get into it and then nothing happens, I kinda just gave up because I wouldn't say it crushed me, because that's a little dramatic, but at the same time, it feels kind of accurate. Like, I was just like, wow, I dreamed about this for so long, and nothing became of it. But I'd say that's because I didn't put much into it. I wasn't used to having to put effort into things. And I don't think I am still, but I'm definitely going to work on that, because I need to. That is something that, personally, I have to work through. It's not anything, like, someone can teach me. Someone can't teach me that I need to work through my, like, I just need to work more. Like, yeah, you can tell me that, but you can't teach me that. I have to put in the work. That is a personal thing that I have to do. So, that's part of what I have to do, and that's part of what's gonna keep everything going. Like, a work, job, relationship, doesn't matter. None of those things, like, whether it's either any three of those, or anything else that has similar-esque things, it doesn't really matter. Those are all, they all share one common thing. That I have to actually try and work towards something. Because just not trying and just throwing yourself at it day after day, not adapting, not changing, just doing with what skills you have, that doesn't work. And my earlier videos show that. Just grabbing OBS and flipping on a mic and playing a game, that doesn't work. We are well past the years of that being YouTube content. And I was too young for that. Like, I was too young to record for that, so I have to try harder. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with having to try harder because content, expectations from the people have changed. Like, I'm perfectly fine with that. Is it going to be annoying and difficult? Oh, definitely. But that's just part of what I have to do if I want to make this, make this a thing. If I want to make this part of my life. If I want to fulfill that dream of being a creator that I had when I was a kid, that's what I have to do. So, I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna succeed and I'm gonna be gonna have 100 million subs and YouTube's gonna personally congratulate me with a handshake and pat on the back. I'm not putting that expectation on myself. I'm saying that I'm going to try to make content that people enjoy. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. That people enjoy it. That, for instance, I, like, some young kid, not necessarily even young, but just someone in general, looks at my videos and gets inspired, just like I did. Fulfilling the cycle. That sounds strange. I just... I already play games enough. For a moment, for a bit in my life, I thought it was just, like... I think mainly after after I thought I failed at YouTube, I thought it was just, okay, I just want to play games. And that's it. And part of it was. I just wanted to play games and relax. But that wasn't all of it. Like, I have had my time now to just play games and relax. And I would say it was very relaxing. Like, I'd say it actually helped me quite a bit to, like, get to where I am now. But I wouldn't say that, like... I wouldn't say that's where I want to stay. Like, sure, I want to play games because games they're fun, yes. But to me, they're not just that. They can be they're another form of creativity, just like drawing or singing or writing poems, which I sometimes also did. I might do again. Might make that some of my content, actually. That could be interesting. But, like, they're another form of art. And I know that might sound a bit pretentious, but they kind of are. Like, you can take, like, the Unity game engine and, like, slap a box in, like, a field, and then set a goal, like, with a flag post, all with pre-made assets, and you can call that a game, but, like, no one's really gonna play that for a while. There's not gonna be a huge fan base that sticks around because you made a field with a box. And that's kind of what I did. I just, like, I took the pre-made materials, pre-made game, the pre-made recording software, and I'm not saying you should make your own game and your own recording software. That's not necessarily necessary. Your own game, like, I am all for people making their own games, but I'm not saying that's required. What I'm saying is that, like, if you don't put any soul into it, then people just kind of, like, there's no soul to be gained from it. Like, if you look at it, and it's just, wow, this was made with no effort whatsoever, and, like, someone just turned on their microphone and their camera, or recording software. I know I haven't had a camera. I might change that, but that's also just me, self-appearance kind of thing. I wouldn't say I necessarily look bad, but personally, I just don't like how I look, so really hard for me to want to record myself or take pictures of myself in general. But like I was saying, it's if you just like do the minimal effort, people are going to know that. People are going to see that like you did the minimal effort, and it's going to show that you did the minimal effort. And seeing the minimal effort as a video isn't entertaining. It isn't like fun, and it isn't funny. It's just someone did a thing, and that's kind of cool. But why should I care? Why should I care that someone can download a recording software and just like record them playing you know, some random game that I've never heard of, or even if it's a popular game, like even if it's like the newest Call of Duty or Modern Warfare or whatever. Why care? Like, there's already big content creators that cover that game constantly. Like, even if you're not like, especially if you're not already into it, you can have like hours of backlog content, or even if you are just the biggest fan of it, there's already gonna be like, even if you've watched since the game came out, there's always gonna be like 10 people or more that already have a big following that play that game. So like, why would you be unique in that? And that's kind of like, that's kind of the thing now, is that like you're kind of, it feels weird to say, but you're kind of fighting for fame. If fame is what you're looking for, then you're going to be in a constant uphill battle against everyone else that's also looking for fame. Like, it is going to be a struggle fest. I mean, even the people that like got like, that are some of the top YouTubers now, content creators, like, and I don't know if I'm even saying like the correct YouTubers now, because I haven't looked at the top ones in a while, because I haven't really cared that much. Of like, like, for instance, again, I'm gonna say like Markiplier again, because like now his content is very different from a few years ago, and that is no clearer than watching between his Doom 2016 and his Doom 2020. If you can't watch those, then like, just in general, watch some of his 2016 content and then watch some of his newer content. But like, back then he was very like, he was very much so making a, like, I would say making a persona. He was making like a bubbly, you know, like bubbly, super active, like, the game is, you know, doing this and I'm angry about it or whatever. But now it's a lot more like chill, like a lot more complimenting the game, complimenting the people who made it, and like in just playing a lot of variety of games and enjoying them. And not so much so like chasing the bigger trends. And whether that's because of the like YouTube Originals content he made or any other reason, it's hard for us to say. We may never even know that, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. But like, there's definitely a difference between the two of those, and I'd say that his newer content is, I like it better. That's where that was. But like, the problem is you have to figure out how to find something that people like. In the beginning, your channel has 0 subscribers. There's no one there. When you open a new account, you're not gonna have like 10,000 loyal people, or not necessarily loyal, because I don't really like that term, but like, you're not gonna have 10,000 people that constantly want to watch every single video you output. That's just not gonna happen. The most you're gonna have is like maybe some friends and family, that you told that you're making a YouTube channel for, and they're gonna watch you sometimes, maybe, if they want to. That's it. And you have to find a way to, for one, get into people's YouTube recommended. You have to be at least somewhat like content that they've already watched and content that they like to see. Um, you also have to have content that they want to continue to watch. Because it's all good to be in someone's, like, recommended content, but if people don't actually want to watch it, then they're not gonna, like, click on it and stay to watch it, and then stay to watch more of your videos. They're just not gonna do that if they don't like what you make. So you have to make something that people want to see and want to, like, that they want to start seeing and they want to keep seeing. And I don't think that just gameplay series is really gonna do that. And I think that's kind of why that's really cool. You can highlight it and it. Okay, I like that. Um, I think that's kind of why I thought I failed for a bit, is because I made, like, what I thought was YouTube content of just playing a game consistently, and nothing happened. No one watched it. Nothing, like, no big boom in viewership. No big, like, no one commented. Nothing really happened. So I thought that it was just a lost cause. I The thing is I wasn't really trying, and I think that kind of showed in my content. I wasn't that one really. Okay, I wasn't really trying that hard to make content, and so it didn't really look like it was. Seriously, it's just the small bits. It didn't really look good. It just looked like, wow, someone. I know I've said this far too many times at this point, but just like it, it was just there. It was a video, like, it was videos that you would see in, like, early days YouTube, of just someone turned on a microphone in a game, and now I've said this like 10 times, and then they just started playing. Like, that's not content anymore. It's just not. And I didn't realize that, and I just kind of didn't make anything good. There we go, there's that achievement. Um, so, yeah, uh, in conclusion, I'm back, maybe. I don't want to make any promises that I can't fulfill. That's kind of a thing for me. If I'm not sure that I want to do it, I might just kind of dip again. Hopefully, I'll make a video in that case saying, like, I can't keep doing it or whatever, but if I just disappear off the face of the planet again, or platform, not planet, that's dramatic, you know why. I just couldn't keep myself up to keep doing these. But as of now, I'd say I'm back. So, uh, thank you all if you're still here from from my small amount of viewership I had in those videos. And if you're new, welcome. I hope I can make content that you'll enjoy. But I'd say that's about all for now. I This is gonna be far too long for anyone to watch. If you're here at the end, thank you very much. Leave whatever kind of interaction you want, or if you don't want to leave any interaction, I'm also fine with that. I completely understand. I barely interact on YouTube videos myself. If you would like to subscribe, feel free. No pressure either way. You technically can get notifications for things if you want. That's a good way to get obviously get notified when the newer content comes out. But if not, I'm fine. Fine with me either way. No judgment from me. Um, but I'm back, and I will see you all in my next video and or stream. If you want to catch up with the Twitch, that is. Same tag, Exotic Wyvern. So, I'll see you next time.